Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bayonetta 2 walkthrough. So we are here in the church, and the music is currently ST04 Noatun, the church. And basically we need to find out what the heck that mysterious boy is calling out about. And we are going to attempt to get that Umbran resting place, and fail dramatically. Oh, I could have died. It was just like, no! Don't do this to me! I need it! And I didn't think I could get back up, so I was just like, no! But you can get back up, so that's great. But here we finally get a name for these enemies. Cache, which is the big thing, I think, and Compassion, which are the small ones. Or I could be completely wrong and it's the other way around. I can never remember, but they are ridiculously easy to defeat. They're basically the deer and decorations of this game. And yeah, they're dead easy. I mean, they're a lot more violent than the deer and decorations, but they're easily defeatable. And here is my kind of running around being like, no! How do I get back up? And then I eventually realised, oh, there's a little bit of rubble here. Can I get up? And yes, you can. Which is a godsend, because otherwise that would be like such a massive dick move. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are perfectly entitled to doing stuff like that. And, I mean, they did it in earlier on in Chapter 1 here. But that would have just been mean.
Keeping secrets from Mummy? Nope, nothing comes to my love. Sorry. But since this is your bloody mess,
also, I'm really not a fan of this cutscene style. It doesn't happen often, but I mean, you basically are allowed to walk around. I mean, you can skip through it by just tapping A and just getting through it. But it's not particularly exciting. I mean, I prefer this style to the walkie-talkie version, because it's a lot more kind of, I don't know, something about the pacing works better when it's like this than the walking, which is just really ridiculously slow.
About that trick. See? You need my power to... That works too, I suppose.
I don't have time to give a shit about who you are or why you're going to the mountain. Take me there and make it quick. You stay with me, and I promise you'll end up in one piece. Got it?
Wait! Stop! Before I show you the way, love, you gotta agree to a little condition.
Do we need to go over my lesson again? First, learn to talk to a lady. We don't react very well to being insulted, little one.
Well then, I don't react to being called little one. The name's Loki. And what should I call you, I mean, man.
Do I look like a man to you? Bayonetta or Cereza? Take your pick.
Cereza! You don't look like a Cereza to me.
Well then, Bayonetta it is. Let's move, little one.
Hey! I just told you my name is...
You'll earn your name when you become a man.
Oh, the burn on Bayonetta's part. Also, we find out that his name is Loki. And I will be talking more about that in a little bit, but we've got witches' recipes, which means we can finally concoct it's a lot more painless than it used to be. So that's good. And also we get entry number 001. Witch's recipes. Found this cleaning up some old journals and documents scattered about in my dad's office. Actually, note to self, I'm going to be a little more proactive and try organise these things by number. Just came up with that now. It'll take some time for me to parse everything that's written here, but according to my dad's notes, it seems to be talking about something like alchemy. Working materials in different combinations to create something completely different than what you started out with. This particular one seems to be about making some secret potion from the extract of rare crystals and jewels and blah yada 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 yada. Nothing particularly important there. But, basically, in order to concoct, you go to the secret witch's recipes thingy, and pick whichever you want, and just spin the right stick and you're sorted. Or the left stick, you can go with either. And for completing your first concoction, you get a bewitchment. You also get a bewitchment for, I believe, completing something like 50 concoctions. It's something like that. And I will be doing that later, actually. Because, I mean, I very much would like to try and get most, if not all, of the bewitchments. We will see how that works out, but I would certainly like to. And now, Purification Grounds. The brilliant church in central Noatun has aged gracefully, maintaining its beauty as if unfazed by the passage of time. Its value is not only sentimental. The people living in the city make regular visits to the church for prayer, nuptials and funerals. However, word has that it long ago served yet another purpose. Pilgrims chosen by God would stop by the church on their way to the sacred peak of Fimbulventer, puring themselves in the waters that flow from the hallowed grounds. While the road to the summit is lost, holy water continues to flow, purging the impurities of those who bask in it. After wearing a perfectly good pair of shoes, I'd say my feet are pure enough for one lifetime. I love the humour in the journal echoes. It's really awesome. And it's, I think, a lot funnier than the fragments that appeared in the original Bayonetta. There is a very distinct reason for that, but we will find that out later. So, having finally found out that the kid's name's Loki, that immediately opens up some very interesting stuff. Because, as you may realise, Loki is a god in Norse mythology. Essentially, sort of, he's the trickster god of mayhem. At least that's what people seem to think he is. There's no real certainty, but that's, I think, the general consensus. But essentially, he's the son of Farborti and Lofe, and the brother of Helblindi and Bylester. And he's the father of Hel, the wolf Fenrir, and the world serpent Jormungandr. And he is intensely involved in Ragnarok, which is a great battle foretold that ultimately results in the death of a number of major figures in Norse mythology, including Odin, Thor, Tyr, Freyr, Heimdall, and Loki himself. So, calling the kid Loki opens up a very, very interesting dynamic. Because it's just like, how much is he going to live up to his name? We shall see. But anyway, we've got another enemy here, which is called Urbane. Which is pretty cool, but it suffers the same problem as Valiant in being ever so slightly too big for its own good, and thereby being slightly difficult to read. If anything, it's kind of what happens with Bayonetta 2, in that it's a very quick game, as I've said before, but the fact that you then have massive enemies that are attacking relatively quickly, it's kind of become very challenging. Now, another couple of things about Loki before we continue. The host of the E3 2014 demo of Bayonetta 2 actually stated that his name was Loki way before Platinum Games ever confirmed it. So that was a slight cock-up on their part. But, so we did know that he was called Loki for a while, but, yeah. And also, while nobody knows what Loki means, like, people have tried to figure out the etymology of it and all sorts, but they've never succeeded. But basically, people believe that it's possibly a mirror to the Old Norse name Luca, which is very notable because, you know, Luca in the Bayonetta universe. So Luca means close in Old Norse. So the implication is that, due to similar spelling, Loki could roughly mean apart, so it's opposite to Luca. And, I mean, in many ways, Loki is quite opposite to Luca, because he's not a goofball. He's not really a ladies' man, he's just got a slight hint of misogyny about him, but that's more because he's sort of a teenager who doesn't understand the world. Also, I really love that kind of Bayonetta actually tackles the whole kind of sexual politics that get level at it, really. And there's something else that I will talk about in more detail further down the line. But this, like, Bayonetta as a character is very aware of herself. And so, kind of, the fact that when she's kind of talking to Loki, it's just like, you'll earn your name when you learn to talk to a lady and become a man, and all of that. It's just like, she demands respect. And that's just always awesome. But, thankfully, we are pretty much at the end of Chapter 1 now. We have only 2 more verses to go, one of which is hidden. As I said, you can really just zip through this game. Like, I think it's easily possible to beat it in 4 or 5 hours, if you want. But if you want to get all the verses, then you're going to get a little bit more interesting. Also, this is a really weird fight. Like, there is absolutely no reason for it to be underwater, but it is, and just, okay. We'll go with that. But for completing it, we get a broken witch heart. And that is something that this game introduces, is that certain hidden verses will give you items. Which is very important, because, I mean, that's another full witch heart. So, within the first chapter, we have completed 2 witch hearts. So, they give you so many items in this game. Like, I mean, it's basically the main reason why it is by far easier to just play than the original Bayonetta. Because not only does it give you a lot more collectibles to be able to get your health up quicker, but also it gives you a lot more kind of lollipop items. So, like, when you are, say, just breaking things, you get the laurels and stuff. So, it's a lot more forgiving. than the original Bayonetta, which was so stingy on items that it was just like, what?
Joe, just because you asked tall, dark, and ugly, that makes total sense.
But this is our final battle for the chapter, which is just like, yes! Now, I believe that the music here is called Warning. It's pretty cool. And we are fighting against Glamour, which we have also already seen before. It's kind of, the slightly annoying thing is that while you are constantly facing off against new enemies, for like the opening segments of the game, you're facing off against enemies that you've already seen or faced, which is frustrating. But I mean, this fight with Glamour is pretty damn cool, and I love the climax at the end, which is just beautiful. Now you may be wondering, why on earth haven't you gotten the blades out yet? And that's because, I have to say, for the most part I do prefer to stick with Lover's Blue as my weapon of choice. At least for most of the game until they get certain other items, well, certain other weapons. Largely because with the guns you've got the ability to completely continue your combo, because you can shoot, and that gives you some buffer. And with the blades, you don't have that. You can do a charge-up move which can get you something, but it's very difficult. Also, it's just that stomping. It's just beautiful. And I also like that Bayonetta actually physically summons Madama Butterfly for climaxes in this game, because you only saw kind of the fists and the feet in the first game, and now you kind of get the full body, and it's just epic.
What the hell are you doing? Let go of me!
So, little one, what's all this sovereign business about?
Not a clue, love. Oi!
Well, whatever. If your sovereignness is going to get in my way, our deal is over. And if we're going to have to meet any more of your friends, you'd better learn to take care of yourself.
I'm quite alright on my own. Got it?
Your tricks aren't going to work forever, little one. More tricks, little magician. Maybe you've got more to offer than I expected. For the time being, though, stay here and don't get frisky.
There. That is the one, is it not?
Yes. I will never forget that face.
And with that, Chapter 1 is complete! Well, it's finished, we've still got to come back to it in a bit, but either way, I got a platinum! Oh yeah! I really do love the awards in this game, they're amazing. It's slightly depressing when you kind of get a stone, but I've not gotten one of those yet in Bayonetta 2. Onwards to Chapter 2!